of say 100 odd people.
Live streaming has started. Okay, I think we have started now. I mean, I'm just waiting for the images to show up, and then we go. Okay, so welcome to our channel, and we are trying out the YouTube live stream for the first time. And then we have 5 or 6 people, but we hope to get many more as we go along. And even if we don't, we are happy. Like I was telling Sanjay, 3 people, make a group, and we love to share poetry. So it's wonderful to have everybody with us. And forgive us if our live stream is not as beautiful as it should be, but hey, let's give it a shot. With that, we don't have anybody new, so everybody knows the rules out here. We go around the table and we give everybody a chance to speak on their favorite poem. Today's theme is time travel, and time travel can be very interesting. It can be very nuanced, various dimensions to it. I have a few poems also. By the way, this poetry meeting is not for kids, so word of warning: uh, intemperate language may be used here and there. So make sure only adults or kids who are big enough to follow this. All right. With that, let me hand over the mic first to Manisha and ask her if she has got anything interesting for us today. Manisha, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Rajiv. Thank you so much. And so, starting out with what an interesting theme we have today. And like you said, Rajiv, time travel can have a lot of nuances and intricacies as to where you might go. So, in my poem, I traveled to the future a little bit, to my future a little bit. So, a little older me, which traveled back to a much younger me. So, here's the poem. सूखे पत्तों की करकराहट मेरे कानों में ऐसे बज रही है, मेरी बूढ़ी हड्डियां जैसे ऐंठ रही हैं। ये सूखे हुए पेड़ की नंगी शाखें आसमान की नीली चादर में जैसे दरारें पड़ गई हैं। एक सन्नाटा सा छा रहा है, गहरा काला हो गया है आसमान। गड़गड़ाहट के साथ एक नन्ही सी बूंद आकर ठहर गई है मेरे माथे पर और ताज़ा कर गई है मेरे बचपन की यादों को। बारिश की टप टप टपकती बूंदों ने एक छोटे से गड्ढे में ये तालाब जो बना दिया है, उसमें मैंने अपने छोटे छोटे हाथों से एक कागज़ को मोड़कर किश्ती बनाकर डगमगाती हुई बहा दी है उसमें। गीली मिट्टी को कीचड़ बनाकर अपने हाथों से गूंद कर एक ऊंची पहाड़ी खड़ी करके बनाया था मैंने अपने सपनों का घर। पास की क्यारी से फूलों को चुनकर एक धागे में पिरोकर छोटी सी माला बनाई थी, अपनी गुड़िया सजाई थी। तभी पीछे से मेरे साथी ने ऊंची सी छलांग लगाई थी और छपाक से पानी के गड्ढे से छींटे मेरे मुंह पर आई थी। चौंक उठी मैं पानी के उस छींटे से, यादों के भंवर में बहते बहते बहुत दूर निकल गई थी। पानी की वो बूंदें और पानी की ये बूंदें अपने अंदर बीते लम्हों के एहसास भरकर भिगा देती है और यादें ताज़ा कर देती है।
Yeah, brilliant.
Oh, that's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely, Manish.
Beautifully
Very
put
good.
across, Manisha. Lovely.
Most
Thank you.
impressed.
Very nice.
Very nice. Yes, time travel can do various things, and this is one of them. Look back onto your life,
Yeah.
from a distance, from a perspective, and
Yes, yes. From a distance, you could. Yes, that's true. That's exactly what I was feeling when I was writing this poem. that I was kind of, my present was like like an observer as to what will happen when I'm much older, and if I go into my younger days, what all will I remember? So that's what I was feeling.
There is a wonderful book I read. It's called Before the Coffee Gets Cold, in which it was a fiction, in which in a particular restaurant in Tokyo, you sit in a particular chair and order coffee, you can travel back in time, but you don't travel spatially, you just travel back in time. And and the uh, and the and the variations it can bring. You can meet somebody who has died, you know.
Oh, wow.
You can say sorry to a person you broke up with. You can meet your younger self.
Yeah,
And
it's all imagination, and that sense of deja vu is already always there. Somehow you feel you've done it before somewhere.
but the most nuanced thing I read in the story I read was that somebody from the future can also come to you, come to your present time. So it's a perspective which is important. You
Yes.
know how the perspective can change with time. So Manisha, I think that was a wonderful
Thank
thing.
you. Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have Jasbir ji, wonderful to have you here, and as usual, looking great. So we would like to ask you to present something on our program today. Jasbir ji, and the mic is yours. And before I give the mic, Chinmay is out here. Chinmay,
Hey, hello
hey.
everyone.
Okay, so we are on YouTube live public. So be
Oh,
careful of what you are saying.
yeah,
But
yeah,
I've already warned people that they can hear some language which is intemperate. So let me not stop you too much. I think
yeah.
the warning is already. Jasbir ji, over to you.
Oh, thank you so much. And here, a lovely topic, time travel. My kid sister's birthday today. Very many happy returns of the day. I travel back in time when I met her in mummy's bump first time. I went to see her in the hospital. She was a perfect doll, one can imagine. She had a clump of black hair, button like dark eyes, playfully looking at me. In the crib, her tiny hands, feet, arms, and twitching red lips, she caught my attention with each action. To my mother's horror, I wanted to pick her up and walk. Ceremoniously, I was asked to sit cross legged, and then tenderly she was placed in my lap. It was sheer exultant joy. To my mother's horror, I rolled her off like a rock when she wet my frock. I was told, admire her from afar. When she's big enough, you can pick her up. 6 months went by. She was now a beautiful, chubby cherub, an angel gurgling with laughter, uttering softly in her own language. I wanted to pick her up. Finally, permission was granted. As I picked her up, she was anything but still, flaying her arms and legs in all directions. Thud! She fell on the floor, much to my mother's horror. My dad intervened. He made a deal. If I get a doll as big as her, will you let her be? I said that depends upon the doll. Off we went to the market, in and out of many toy stores, and we came back with a lovely doll. That's how I let my little sister be, admiring her angelic smile, laughter gestures from afar. Today, she has grown up into a comely young woman today is her birthday. And despite our age differences, I'm blessed with her camaraderie. Thank you. Very many happy returns of the day.
How lovely, how lovely.
Lovely, lovely.
A nice way to say happy birthday.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I have yet to wish her. I mean, I haven't spoken to her as yet.
Okay.
Yeah. So you know what? I'm going to send her the link and say, please listen to us on this.
Oh
Wow,
yeah,
that's a beautiful
That's
way
so
to
That's a
nice.
wish
good
her. Yes.
idea.
That's lovely. That's lovely.
yeah, that's lovely. In fact, I think one of the best ways of wishing anybody birthday is to write a poem for them, a special poem. Buying a card or flowers doesn't hold a candle to an original poem.
Actually, Rajiv, I have
Well,
to,
I'd love
funny,
that
sorry.
holds a candle for me. I'd rather get a card or a flower rather than a poem.
Rather than a poem. Okay.
But Rajiv, funny that you mentioned this. My sister-in-law, that's my brother's wife, she started out like this. She started writing some poetry, which she says is very simple poetry, but it's nice. It comes from her heart, I think. And she actually started writing poetry for people on their birthdays. So she started out with her son, then for her daughter, for my brother, like for her husband. Then she, wrote a poetry on my birthday. So it was very nice. I told her, I said, this is a lovely gift that you have given me.
Yeah, I agree. Yes, it's also true that poetry doesn't get everybody. You know, so one has to be careful. I think they would rather get a perfume bottle or something than a
No,
poem.
so I had done this for my dad's 75th. I'd written a very nice poem starting from the day he was born to his commissioning in the army, and then 75 years gone by with some nice, quilling work done, flowers and all. Got it framed, and he
Right.
put it in his room. It's very nostalgic, actually. Every time I go to their place, I just stand there for 2 minutes, read that poem, and just
Yeah,
reminisce about what it was.
yeah. I
So
think
yeah.
I think it's lovely. I still remember Cyrus wrote a poem on Shakespeare's sonnets. So it was a
Yeah,
ditty.
yes, yes, that was really nice. Very witty,
And
very
he
witty.
mentioned my name in it, and I felt so happy, that somebody has mentioned my name in their
Actually, yes, yes,
uh,
yes.
in their work, so to say. And I think okay. Before I hand over to you, Gunika ji, I will read. I've been reading Philip Larkin's poems a lot, simply because his best friend Martin Amis, I'm reading his memoir. So I have this book, and I have sort of signal out 5 or 6 of Phil Larkin's poems, and sometimes his language is not up to speed. But let me just do a small one, and then we can compute. And it's Phil Larkin's 26th. This is the first thing I have understood. Time is an echo of an axe within a wood. So that's it. Time is an echo of an axe within the wood.
Echo
I
of
thought
what?
it says a
Axe.
lot
Of an axe in the wood.
within the wood.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, you
Profound.
can
Effective,
see
Profound.
the
effective.
way. Yeah, I mean, you have the images of death. You have the images of an impending doom, and then and can you hear that axe? That's also important.
That's true.
Wow.
So I mean, Phil Larkins is not a very, he doesn't write long poems, but I thought some of his poems are really good. So I'll read more of them as we go through.
Sure.
Okay, Gurika ji, you are next on my screen, so the mic
Okay.
is yours.
So this one, I was about to fall off to sleep, and I realized I had not written anything, and I had not even looked for anything. So at 4 o'clock, I just woke up. I said, no, I better not sleep. I better write something. So this is my 4 o'clock poem. So it goes like, I laid my head on my pillow and traveled ahead in time, my dreams full of a world with people a dozen a dime. They swarmed openly like locusts, buzzing from here to there, as if for no particular reason. They were all going somewhere. The streets abuzz with robos, clanking their limbs in brakes, every ear plugged to a device, souls falling like snowflakes. Traffic jams were in the air, with cars flying around. Trams and trains chugged above, but none made a sound. Why couldn't I see some trees here, or some flowers smiling there? Had all the butterflies vanished like kind hearts in thin air? In this milling, faceless world, why was I feeling so alone? How come this colored world of mine had become so monochrome? And then, when I freed myself from this flawed dream of mine, I felt a peaceful tug at heart and after traveling back in time. And as I lay back with open eyes, I hugged my smiling self. Home is where the heart is, I always tell myself. Thank you.
Lovely. Wow.
Yeah,
Loved
wonderful.
it, loved it.
Really wonderful.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you.
Lovely. That was very nice, Gunika, and it's a 4 o'clock poem. Uh, I think we have mentioned it once before. There is a series of poems whose topic is 4 a.m. in the morning, and maybe we should have it as our next theme. You'll be
Was this a 4
surprised.
a.m. or a 4
This is
p.m.?
4 p.m. This is right
This
now
was
4
4 p.m.
p.m.
I realized that. I realized that. But there is Simbroska. She has written a poem of 4 a.m. in the morning. Let me bring it out. Today there are not many people, so we can go around sharing.
I love the part about, when you said that how come there were no trees and my colored world has become monochrome. I love
Yes.
that part, and that shock, and then the feeling of relief that it's only a dream and you've come
Only a
back into
dream.
the real
Yes.
world.
I hope we don't go in that world ever.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Gudika ji. Thank you. Chalo. If anybody is in a hurry, let me know. We'll put on that first. There are not many people left. Ritika, maybe you can go next. Uh,
Yeah, sure. Okay,
Nice.
so before I wrote this, poem of mine, I, you know, wasn't able to actually figure out. Like Gurika ji said that, what should I write, and then I told my son that, today I haven't written anything at all. So he said, today, Mama, you're going to fail in your class. So I was like, it's not a class, it's just a poetry session that
I
we
did
have.
not say class.
So I had written just a very short thing. So it's like, काश जिंदगी भी रिवाइंड हो पाती और तस्वीरें गुजरे पल लौटा पाती. So this is something which I wrote some time back, and then based on this I just wrote another poem in Hindi. So it goes like this. एक कश्ती एक कश्ती जो वक्त के पार ले जाती, एक कश्ती जो मन की गति से चल पाती, एक कश्ती जो हमें जिस पल में जीना हो वहां ले जाती, एक कश्ती जो गम की दुनिया छोड़ खुशियों की ओर ले जाती, एक कश्ती जो दिलों का दर्द कम कर पाती, एक कश्ती जो आज को छोड़ जिंदगी के कुछ पल पीछे ले जाती, एक कश्ती जो तस्वीरों में कैद लम्हों तक पहुंचा पाती, एक कश्ती जो बिछड़ों को मिलवा पाती, एक कश्ती जो मुझे मेरे बचपन से मिलवा पाती, काश होती एक कश्ती जो वक्त के पार ले जाती. That's all.
Heartfelt, I think. Very, very, very beautiful.
Yeah, Ritika, it is. I think your grief everybody appreciates. It is tough. And believe it or not, when I was reading your poems and I was reading Phil Larkin's poems, there's a poem I thought which echoes your sentiments also. So with your permission, Ritika, let me read out.
Sure.
a poem by Phil Larkins, and I hope I do justice. If grief could burn out like a sunken coal, the heart would rest quiet, the unrent soul be still as a whale. But I have watched all night the fire grow silent, the grey ash soft, and astir the stubborn flint the flames have left. And grief stirs, and the deft heart lies impotent. It's a small poem, and it's about the grieving heart, but underneath heart, it just sort of echoes the sentiments of love and loss uh, in a slightly different way. So that was Phil Larkins. Again.
Brilliant.
Okay, moving on. Sanjay,
Yeah, hi.
you popped in and popped out. You want to
Yeah,
give it a shot?
yeah, sure. We have this issue. The power backup doesn't come on straight away, so you have
Okay.
to wait for a while to reconnect.
Uh-huh.
So that's what happened. Okay, so the poem I have, Rajiv, is it's really not about time travel. It's more about a philosophy of life, about the present and the future. And this is a poem by Iqbal, and this is how it goes. Now let me just get it. Yeah. So the poem is called Sitaron Se Aage, and this is how it goes. सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं, अभी इश्क के इम्तिहान और भी हैं. सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं, अभी इश्क के इम्तिहान और भी हैं. तही जिंदगी से नहीं ये फजाएं, तही जिंदगी से नहीं ये फजाएं, यहाँ सैकड़ों कारवां और भी हैं. कनाअत न कर आलमे रंगो बू पर, कनाअत न कर आलमे रंगो बू पर, चमन और भी आशियां और भी हैं. अगर खो गया एक नशेमन तो क्या गम, अगर खो गया एक नशेमन तो क्या गम, मकामात आहो फुगा और भी हैं. तू शाहीन है परवाज काम तेरा, तू शाहीन है परवाज काम तेरा, तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं. इसी रोज और शब में उलझ कर न रह जा, इसी रोज और शब में उलझ कर न रह जा, कि तेरे जमानो मकां और भी हैं. Thank you. I do we need a translation? I'm not sure. I think
Yes,
You're
we
on
do
mute,
need a
Rajiv.
translation.
Rajiv was on mute.
Yeah.
oh,
Little bit of translation, I think. Will do.
No,
Just
I think no, I think we are okay without the English translation.
yeah, I think
Although
so.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
even
still
even
missed,
so, why? Okay.
I still missed some of the Urdu,
That's
the Urdu
little bit
different.
of. I think a
Yeah,
little translation will do.
हाँ,
Will help rather.
नहीं, हिंदी के ट्रांसलेशन उर्दू टू हिंदी और उर्दू टू इंग्लिश.
Anything little easier for me.
हिंदी,
okay.
उर्दू टू हिंदी.
Hindi,
संजय.
no problem.
हाँ.
Yeah.
Okay, सितारों से आगे जहां और भी हैं, इसका मतलब सितारों से आगे और भी. It's easier for me to translate into English actually. There are other worlds beyond the stars. अभी इश्क के इम्तिहान और भी हैं. The quest that we have started on has yet to clear many further trials. कहीं जिंदगी से नहीं ये फजाएं. The life that you're familiar with is not the only one in the environment. यहाँ सैकड़ों कारवां और भी हैं. There are many other ways of living. कनाअत न कर आलमे रंगो बू पर. Don't be content with the fragrance uh, and colors of your surroundings. Don't be content with what you've accomplished. That's what it means. चमन और भी आशियां और भी हैं. There are other gardens, there are other sanctuaries. अगर खो गया एक नशेमन तो क्या गम. So if you lose a sanctuary, you should not regret about it. मकामात आहो फुगा और भी हैं. There are other places where uh, you can sigh and cry. You can take your mourning to some other places. The idea is to just move on. Don't regret over what's have gone wrong. Tu Shaheen hai parwaz kaam tera. Shaheen is an eagle or a falcon. You're like an eagle, and your destiny is soaring high. Parwaz is high a flight. तू शाहीन है परवाज काम तेरा तेरे सामने आसमां और भी हैं. There are many unconquered skies ahead of you. इसी रोजो शब में उलझ कर न रह जा. Don't get bogged down with the daily grind. कि तेरे ज़मां ओ मकां और भी हैं. Zama is a cycle of time. Makan is space. So you are meant for greater things. You are meant for, greater accomplishment. So don't rest on your laurels. This is the broad message.
Very motivational and inspirational, actually, to
Yeah, it is.
look
It
at the
is.
positive side, and just
Yeah,
don't stay where you are, move ahead.
yeah. Actually, this is a standard poem. If you studied in the Urdu medium in UP schools, this is part of virtually every textbook
हाँ.
that's
No,
taught
I've
in.
heard it before, but yeah,
I'm
वो
sure it's very
एक
popular.
it's very popular, but वो
Uh,
एक दो lines आती हैं in a
हाँ.
quote kind of a thing, but not the entire thing
okay.
comes. हाँ.
No,
That's
it's
right.
a very well-known poem. Yeah. Chaliye,
Yeah, I
thanks very
always
much.
felt we did not teach our own poetry well in school. You know,
Yeah.
especially Urdu poetry or even Hindi poetry. It was more by rote. ठीक है ये poem आएगी वो करा दो. But the beauty of a poem, you know, जैसे एक हमारा ना moral science का क्लास होता था. वैसे we should have a class on beauty, which
Yeah.
can be art, which can be the sensibilities, so to say.
But Rajiv, हमको ये भी लगता है, I feel that perhaps one is too young to appreciate poetry fully at that age. For instance, like I remember when I was a student, then the Hindi textbook had that Fool Ki Abhilasha, which
Uh,
everybody must have read. But you just went through it. It didn't really register on you, So
ये हाँ
probably,
एग्जाम देना है तो
yeah,
पढ़ लेते हैं.
No, but that's the whole point, that the way it is taught.
Yes,
It's to,
exactly.
just memorize it and just, go and put it down
No,
on
but
the
the
paper
Phool
in
Ki
the
Abhilasha
exam.
was really good because it was a short poem, so we loved it. We
Yeah.
loved
okay,
खूब लड़ी मर्दानी वो तो झांसी वाली रानी
right,
थी.
right, right,
Yes,
right.
We
yes,
loved
yes.
the poem
Love that
where she
poem.
says वो जीवन का झरना and there's so many poems. Then there was another poem that I can never forget is माँ फिर क्या होगा उसके बाद. I don't know if you know about that poem. It's a beautiful one. शिशु ने उत्सुक होकर पूछा माँ क्या होगा उसके बाद. Um, so many, all these Hindi
there's so many.
poems.
It's poetry really crosses barriers, languages, geographies, cultures. So this is a really a universal language. Chalo, before I hand over to Chinmay, I will do another Phil Larkins short poem.
Sure.
The bottle is drunk out by one. At two, the book is shut. At three, the lovers lie apart, love and its commerce done. And now the luminous watch hands show after 4 o'clock, time of the night when straying winds trouble the dark. And I am sick for want of sleep, so sick that I can half believe the soundless river pouring from the cave is neither strong nor deep. Only an image fancied in conceit. I lay and wait for the mornings and the birds, the first steps going towards the unswept street, and the voices of the girls with scarves round their heads. So this is just a imagery of of and I love it the way they put it.
Yes.
At 3, the lovers lie apart. Love and its commerce done. You know,
Exactly.
what a beautiful way of putting a thing.
Right. Very fluid, and
Who's this? Who's
very
joined
fluid.
us? I
Vritti.
Vritti.
Vritti
Yeah.
is going.
I thought you were out.
Hello.
Party.
Yeah, hi
No, no,
Priti.
I
Okay.
Hi,
was
good to
out
see
in
you.
the market and I just reached 5 minutes back. So I thought I'll just sneak in for 10 minutes.
Okay, yeah. So you're just in time to hear our very own Chinmay.
Ah,
Yes,
Hi.
Chinmay, Mike is here.
Yeah. So basically, I want to share a few things. Like Sanjay sir mentioned that okay, like at when we were taught poems in schools, right? It was not registering, or it was slightly different with me. Actually, I used to have all the time, like almost like. Kind of fight with my teachers, right? Because I was not agreeing on the meaning he was explaining about the poem. So I used to write my own interpretation of the poems. So yeah. In fact, there was one poem called "Kidhar Hai Satya." Balakrishna Rao की एक कविता है, which explains the how there is this story of a river, and poet ask whether it's the river or the like this stream of water which has conquered the path and like reached to the ocean, or it is the nature or the surrounding which has kind of guided it to the ocean, right? So this was the kind of conflict that is there. And by is getting inspired by that poem, I have kind of propounded a theory at that time. Okay, it's like the surrounding which is more important than the after a threshold of your talent, surrounding plays a much broader role in reaching for your success or anything like that. Anyway, um, so I have this poem. I have read this once, I guess, in this forum or maybe other. It's not specifically on time travel. However, it has this an element of memory, and given that it's like we are nearing Holi, so it's has this part. It's called Rang, and I have written it into two parts. It's slightly longer poem. So it goes like this. Rang part A. कुछ अनबुझ अनूठे रंग, अटूटे रंग, बिखरे से भी कुछ बेतरतीब से घुकचे हुए, मुड़े हुए बिस्तरों के से रंग, आंगन में मिट्टी के उखड़े हुए पपड़ियों के रंग, पुरानी दीवार पर लग गए काई के रंग, बूढ़ी काकी की बुझी हुई बीड़ी के से रंग, फटते मौसम में चिड़चिड़े धूप के रंग, खेतों में गैया चर जाने के बाद घासहीन जमीन से मिट्टी के झांकते हुए परती से रंग, पिछले बरसात में टिपके हुए पानी के सीलनों के रंग, वो पुराने बेलालटेन वाले घर में सन्नाटों के रंग, अंधड़ में उड़ गए फूस के छप्पर के रंग, चार परब सड़ रहे कुम्हड़ के उजले उजले हरियौंच से रंग, नालियों में रुक गए गंदले पानी के रंग, कुएं में उगाए सेवार के बाड़ी के टूटे टाट वाले बत्तियों के रंग, गिलाबों से जुड़ी दीवार के ढहे हुए ईंटों के झड़ते हुए परतदार से रंग, धूल और रिश्ते पानी को झेलते टूटी हुई अलमारी के दीमक चटे किताबों वाले जर्ददार रंग, बक्सों से झड़ते हुए जंग के से रंग, आईनों पर जमी धूल के झांकते हमारे अक्स के रंग, हमारी यादों के घरौंदों की तस्वीर पर आज पड़ गए पानी से धुंधले होकर फैलते से रंग, और होली में निरे पानी वाले सूखे सूखे से रंग.
Very
So
nice.
this was actually the kind of sad colors of life.
Mm.
Uh,
Um, and it kind of has this nostalgic like where I'm kind of trying to remember all things that is there in village or settings, right, and how things are kind of deteriorating, and it is creating this colors, different kind of colors, which has mostly gray in nature but different texture of gray and sadness, and like stillness is there, no activity, nothing at all. However, there is a second part to it, and if time allows, I would like to read that as well.
sure. You want to do it now, or you want to do it a little
Hmm.
bit later?
I'm perfectly fine either way.
Either way.
Before Chinmay, you go ahead. I have an idea. Uh, it's a very pictorial sort of a poem,
Yep.
so the pictures come into mind.
Yeah.
Rajiv ji, if we can ask Chinmay, I don't know if that's possible or not, but if we can get in touch with Nitya and ask her that if we can have a video done for this poetry, like Chinmay can rend his voice,
Right.
and then we can add pictures, because the pictures can be found, and we
Yes.
can do a video, and I can edit it, and I can we can post it on YouTube
Yeah. Yeah.
and on our Instagram as well.
Yeah. So
Because
let's consider that, because she's already doing one of Kalyan's poems,
Mm.
uh,
right? So let's see how it turns out, and then we can do this one. Sure.
yeah, I
Sure.
think we can
I
do
on the spot we have underutilized our video, poetry, so to say, or audio poetry or video. It's not. It can be used much more than this.
Yeah,
So,
and I think since we have a team now who's
we have a team working for
particularly
us.
looking into this,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
might
Go
as
on.
well just
They
we
just
should
Yeah, they just need directions. They
utilize
will
them.
do it. Just put
Yeah,
directions.
and I think it's doable,
Yeah,
because whatever Chinmay was saying, reading out,
yeah. Very
I had
visual.
pictures. Yeah,
Very
so it
visual.
was visual. So I think
Very visual.
we can keep this in mind. And Chinmay, we can
Mm.
ask you to send your voice anytime. So just be ready.
Sure.
Okay.
Chalo, next, Vritti, do you have a poem today?
No, no, I just ran in, so I
Uh,
don't have one. But
okay.
if Chinmay can read his second part, that's my book.
Yes. Okay. So before I give to Chinmay, we'll take a break with
Mhm.
Vislava Samborovska.
Sure.
And, 4 in the morning, Vislava Samborovska. It's a small poem. The hour from night to day, the hour from side to side, the hour for those past 30, the hour swept clean to the crowing of cocks, the hour when earth betrays us, the hour when wind blows from extinguished stars, the hour of, and what if nothing remains after us, the hollow hour, blank, empty, the very pit of all other hours. No one feels good at 4 in the morning. If ants feel good at 4 in the morning, 3 cheers for the ants. And let 5 o'clock come if we are to go on living. Thank you. That was Vislava's take on 4 in the morning.
Fantastic.
Yeah, wonderful.
Very interesting.
Very,
Very
very nice.
interesting.
Very nice. Yeah, really. Something
Yeah,
to think about, and this beautifully put into crisp words actually. Words are very
that's
crisp, yeah.
that's the beauty of poetry, and that's why I liked Phil Larkin's poems, which I was reading. Is that in a few words he
Exactly.
is able to get the sense of things.
Yes.
And with that, Chinmay, let me hand
Mm.
it back mic back to you for part 2 of the colors.
रंग पार्ट बी। सुलझे सुनहरे सादगी के सलीके वाले रंग, द्वार पर रौनकों के रंग, गोबर निपे आंगन के पिछलते से रंग, वो फूलों से सजे हुए चिनवार वाले रंग, नए कपड़ों वाले छत के कुम्हार वाले रंग, टाट वाले नए बंधनों के रंग, गेहूं की सुनहरी बालियों पर ओस के से रंग, लल भुटका के रंग, आम के मंजरी वाले गुच्छेदार रंग, रात फिर पीपली भगजोगनियों के रंग, और और फिर सर्दियों की धूप सूखते सुनहरी पुआर वाले रंग, दो बगले कमाई क्यारियों लगे पौधों के फूल वाले रंग, पत्तों वाले रंग, वो भुजे अरहरी दाल के कंसार वाले रंग, चूल्हे पर छन रही पुए और पकवान वाले रंग, और कई त्योहार वाले रंग, हुड़िया के दिन सजे गाय गर्दामी के चौरचन के दही में चांद वाले रंग, कोजगरा के दलपूड़ी के दाल वाले रंग, भरदुतिया के सेनुर पिठार वाले रंग, सामा चकेबा के खजन चिड़ैया वाले रंग, सुगा पंखी के से रंग, दीपावली के दीप वाले रंग, उका उकी के जले संठियों के रंग, छठ के भिनसुरवा को खजूर और कुसियार के से रंग, वो पान और मखान वाले रंग, घर के मुखों पर माँ के छपे हाथ वाले रंग, याद अभी है मुझे और ढेर सारे रंग।
वाह वाह
Awesome,
Beautiful,
awesome.
beautiful.
Chinmay, is this pure Hindi? I could pick up some words which are not exactly, typical Hindi, or are there something else, like some
So
other language?
basically
I
it
think
has,
his rural language is
हाँ,
yeah, it has,
थोड़ा सा, हाँ.
yeah, it has some flavor of like typical words which is there in Bihar, right?
बिहार,
So I have tried,
exactly,
yeah,
हाँ.
yeah, yeah.
सही
So
बात है,
I
हाँ.
have used, yes, yeah,
I could make out because वो tone and वो
yes,
जिस प्रकार से आप बोल रहे थे उन्हें,
yeah,
to make out that they are not those typical Hindi वाले words.
yeah,
आपकी
yeah,
different,
yeah.
But I think
very
they
nice.
add a very different flavor to his
Yes,
writing.
so many
They
shades
actually,
of color. Suddenly
I
you see
know,
so
and
many shades.
mm,
And
Beautiful.
so it talks about lot of actually festivals which is very native to the Mithila, or the part from where I come from, right? So it explains like very peculiar things about that culture, right? So for example, I have talked about some of them are known, like say for example Chhat. You guys have heard of it,
Yes,
right?
yes, yes.
So Chhat is like you have this Thekua, Khajur, Kusiar. Like Kusiar is Ganna, right? So this has like this purplish color, right? So I'm talking about that. Then this we have this Bhardutia, right? Bhai Dooj. You have this Senur and Pithar, Sindoor and Pithar, right? So that color, or there is a special festival that happens for like cattles in the family, like they are decorated. So it is called Hudiha. On that day, like all the cattles are getting new threads and everything. They will be polished, like they will be properly बेद एंड लाइक उसका डेकोरेशन करते हैं, सींग में तेल वगैरह लगाया जाता है एंड ऑल दैट. Or for example, there is this chorchan, so which is like kind of worship of moon, right? And this, on that day you have all the white colors food like will be there served. Or there is this again Kojagra. Kojagra is another like the festival which is start at the beginning of the winter, where whole night people will play in their kids and everyone will play. And on that day, like you will make, or every household will have this dalpuri. So it has this specific and a color of that. Or for example, say there is this festival called Sama Chakeva. So Sama Chakeba is a month-long festival which is happening, and this is a way of like how actually there was some sort of vocation for women in the family. Like at the जाड़े में जो जल्दी शाम हो गई, ठीक है, everyone is in the household fed, and then the women in the family will like go and play. They will dance, they will make their own toys. Okay, this is called Sama Chakeba. And there are like lot of well-known and names of the specific toys that they are making. So I'm talking about one specific toy there, Khagan Chiraiya, and it will be decorated. So they will decorate it using the natural colors like फूल के पत्तों के रंग से उसको रंगते हैं. So सुगा पंखी के से रंग, like so I am kind of evoking. So if you have this some sort of understanding of what the culture is of that part, you'll be able to understand how the vibrant colors are there, and everyone is kind of celebrating. So color is kind of celebration of life. So I'm
You
saying
have
that
brought out the imagery of your childhood. Through
yeah,
this poem, I could feel you brought out
yeah,
your imagery of your childhood completely.
And
yeah.
and
Very
and it
nice.
made me realize that we Delhiites have no culture
Yes,
left.
seriously.
कुछ नहीं पता हमें. We just know Diwali, Holi, thoda bahut and whatever. And that too, in a very modern way, not the real festival really. But yeah, both the poems were really nicely written. चिन्मय और I have another idea जो मैं राजीव जी से अलग से discuss करूँगी. Just
Chalo,
came
good,
through.
good, good, good. Chalo,
Yes. Thank you.
this is open house now. We have covered everybody. So for another, before we, Vritti, by the way, we were live. We are still are live on YouTube. So let's hope we have an audience. Yes, I know it's a shock to you. So so anyway,
Yeah.
but let's have the house open for any of the poems. Any second takes?
Okay, I just wrote one a long time back. This is not time traveler, but this is a traveler in time. There's a
Okay,
difference. Yeah.
okay.
So it's a simple poem, very simple words. It goes like, I'm a traveler in time, just passing by, saying a few hellos, waving a few goodbyes, collecting some memories, some good, some not. Few took seed, others left to rot. People I've met and places I've seen. Stood alone at times, on some I did lean. I'm a traveler in time, just passing by. My words were bold, a few were shy. The tears I've shed, the smiles I've shared, who gave me love, for whom I cared, of the truths I've spoken, of the times I've lied. I'm a traveler in time, just passing by.
Yes. I think
Brilliant.
I've heard it before.
I
Traveler.
Yeah.
did I share it somewhere? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that's really
Wonderful.
good, Bhumika. That was really, really good.
Very,
Thank
very
you.
good. Yeah.
Okay. You want the last one from Phil Larkins. The Ugly Sister. I will climb the 30 steps to my room, lie on my bed, let the music, the violin, the cornet, and the drum drowse from my head. Since I was not bewitched in my adolescence and brought to love, I will attend to the trees and the gracious silence to winds that move. The title of the poem is The Ugly Sister. Yeah, so the beat of the poem is actually comes in two lines. Since I was not bewitched in adolescence and brought to love, I will attend to the trees. And
The
so,
title is very offbeat. The title
yes,
is really offbeat.
yes.
Yes,
Again, a perspective
definitely.
uh, fr- from another side. So,
Yeah,
so
this is what poetry is all about. This is
yes.
exactly what how you look at it, different
Oh yeah.
angles. It's totally a 3D shape.
Yes. in fact, I think somebody wrote a very politically intense poem in the group, but it was nicely done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I remember that, and I said, well, uh, uh, that is how poetry should be written, and that is how it was written in Chile, where when censorship was on, and you could be, for political dissent, you could be jailed or worse. And the poets thrived out there. It is because of this ability of poem to look at the situation laterally and not in your face. So I think that's wonderful. Sure. Sanjay, you're saying something? Mute. You're on mute.
No, Rajiv, no, I think we are more or less done unless somebody
Okay.
has something else to offer.
All right then. If we are done, then I'm going to stop the live stream.